The return of FPL is tantalisingly close, and every manager out there is looking to gain an edge in the chase for glory. And I'm here today to give you 5 pieces of advice that'll help you smash your mini leagues and climb those rankings. And this advice isn't which player to sign or who to captain. No, it's far more important than that. This is about getting your mindset right. It's about the overriding strategy to take your FPL play to the next level. Players and captains come and go, but having the psychology and strategy of a champion is absolutely essential if you're to become FPL's Eddie Howe rather than a fantasy Steve Bruce. And by the time I impart the crucial 5th golden rule, you'll be all good to go. But let us start with the rule I find hardest to implement, yet it's probably the simplest of all. If you want to have a successful FPL season, you should copy Praz. Now, if you're as invested in FPL as I am, you'll know all about who Praz is. But if you're not, let me just give you a quick overview. He's an elite FPL manager, the star of Sky Sports and the FPL Wire, and he's an all-around top man. And over the years, Praz has had an absolutely elite run of finishes. However, it's not about the results, it's about his philosophy. In his interview on the FPL Have a Beer channel, Praz famously referred to the algorithms as an unbiased friend. However, unlike some of those algorithm androids, Praz knows you must sometimes override the machine. Last season I was kicking his ass, right up until he brought in a Liverpool player. Then the assistant manager double game week was announced and he sold that same player for a hit to get Arne Slot. He overtook me that game week and then that was that. I never caught him back up. As the season drew to a close, Praz was chasing down the legendary Ben Crellin, FPL's #1 manager over the last 5 years. And Praz went against what the algorithms recommended to give himself the best chance of success in that mission. Ultimately, he was unsuccessful on that occasion, but it's that mindset which leads to success. It's that mindset that says don't settle for second and always gamble on first. That's the mindset that'll get you climbing those rankings in this game. Furthermore, and perhaps even more importantly, Praz plays the game with a smile, and when it goes wrong he dusts himself down and gets back up. He wasn't disheartened he lost to Ben Crellin. How could you be? Ben Crellin is an elite operator. But if it was me, I would have been devastated all summer. I very nearly lost my mini league going into the last few weeks and it was messing with my head. But Praz is a different calibre of champion. He accepts that risking the ultimate glory means sometimes falling short, and when he is unsuccessful he takes it in good grace, confident that he'll gain the upper hand next time out. It's that confidence in his ability which enables him to put a little bit of distance between the process and the outcome. Praz understands innately that this game is not do or die, and he will always have another chance if it does go wrong. That's why he has been as successful as he has been. And that's the lesson I need to assimilate myself. If you can do the same, then your performance will improve considerably. When I say copy Praz, I'm not telling you to copy his moves, I'm telling you to copy his mindset. The second tip I've got for you might seem like an obvious one, but it's one a lot of managers overlook when they come to preparing for the season. And the second golden rule to having a successful FPL season is this: commit to a strategy until your first wildcard. When it comes to the start of a new season, there are generally 3 different strategies people will adopt. There's the fly by the seat of your pants approach, where you kind of make it up as you go along and end up doing not a lot in particular. There's the second approach where you save your transfers and you try and get them transfers in the back so you can have a bit more flexibility of manoeuvring further down the line. Or you can be aggressive with your transfers, making your moves early in a game week and building up that squad value as you go. And it's that first one, the one where you kind of make it up as you go along, that's where most of the problems lie in this game. Yes, you'll always have those moments of reactionary moves, but these should be the exception. If you think of it a bit like snooker, if you lose position on one shot, you never quite get it back. You're always getting a little bit further away from where you want to be. A couple of millimetres away on one shot, then you're a centimetre away on the next, then it's an inch on the third shot, and before you know it, the break building potential's gone. And that's what it's like in FPL when you just kind of make it up as you go along. You're kind of always losing position and never quite getting it back. You're never quite in that strong position from which to build your break. So if you want to be successful this season, you need to make a choice early on. Are you going to be aggressive with your transfers and build up that squad value? Or are you going to save them and give yourself a more powerful transfer position further on down the line? And I'm not going to tell you which one of those you should do, because ultimately it comes down to how you want to play the game. For me, I've tried to build in that planning and saving those transfers in recent years, and it's definitely helped me. It's improved my performance, and my overall rank history will show that. However, in my heart, I've always wanted to be like the Viper, like Randy Orton, hitting you out of nowhere with the RKO of that killer move, getting me that boost in the points. And I feel like this season, maybe that's the one I'm going to go for. Being aggressive early on in the game weeks with my transfers, building that squad value, so later on down the line I've got a bit more money to operate with. Maybe I can get in an Anthony Gordon over a Jacob Murphy. Maybe that extra squad value the aggressive transfer approach builds in the early weeks. Maybe that'll be the killer edge as we enter the later stages of the season. I'm not sure. Maybe by the time the season starts I'll revert to that tactic I've been using in recent years, the long-term planning, the one that's seen my overall rankings climb by the hundreds of thousands, the strategy that has taken me to that elusive top 10k that so many in this game place such high value on. All I know is that if I do not commit to either being aggressive with transfers or saving them for the power down the line, I'm not going to be in a position where I can win this game. And if you want to have a better season than you did last time out, you need to commit to one of those approaches too. So yes, that's the second golden rule to a successful season. Commit to either being cautious or aggressive with your transfers early on, and then when we get to that first wildcard we can reassess the strategy for the second stage of the season, where we will have more information and we'll have either more transfers or more money in the bank with which to attack. Either way, by committing to your break building strategy early, you will not lose position with that white ball, and by the time you pot that 15th black you will still be on course for your 147 season. The third golden rule to improving performance is a simple one. Like Axl Rose once sang, all we need is just a little patience. I know more than most how frustrating it is when the player you own has a crap game and the one you don't own smashes it, and I know that urge to make the transfer early to get them in your team. Now, if you've committed to an aggressive transfer approach, that's fine. It's one of the hallmarks of the strategy. However, what I've found is the more you chop and change, the more likely you are to miss hauls than hit them. With the cheaper players, the reason is obvious. They are cheaper because they are less consistent, and because they are less consistent, they are equally as likely to blank next time out as your man is to bang. With those big names though, the strategy is even riskier. 2 seasons ago I played a name game challenge, and because my name only has one S in, I could only have one of Salah, Saka or Son. Every week I was switching them around to get the best fixture, and every week I was losing more and more points because the one I sold outperformed the one I signed. Now look, sometimes you have a big name go on a Cole Palmer run and it makes sense to sell them, but more often than not they are going to do very well. And trust me, the only thing worse than not having the player who goes big is knowing that you had them and then you sold them. Be patient with the big names, even in the tougher fixture runs. After all, the big names are the big names because they perform against the big teams. When you bring in a player to your team, commit to giving them multiple game weeks to perform. This game ebbs and flows, and a crap game week is often followed by a great one. If you lose your head every time someone blanks, then you've no chance of having a successful season. The fourth golden rule may be a contentious one, but it's one I believe will be absolutely pivotal this season. You simply have to utilise the full squad and ensure you have 15 players in your squad you can count on. Every single squad member is absolutely crucial. Now, this is an issue that is often a hot topic in FPL, and while in the past it made perfect sense to have one playing substitute and two dirt cheap fillers, in today's game, you simply can't make that mistake. This season, almost half of the Premier League has European competition. And when you factor in how much players are being flogged nowadays, squad rotation will affect all the teams that matter. Yes, even Salah, especially with the AFCON to come. Yes, even Haaland with Marmoush ready to step in. Yes, even Isak with my beloved Newcastle having a minimum of 48 and a maximum of 68 games this season. Furthermore, the fixture list isn't the kindest for most teams. There are very few consistent runs of great fixtures for anyone. More than ever, this season will be defined by squad rotation. If you've got a strong bench, you will save transfers. You will cover those random benchings. You will have flexibility in the topsy-turvy fixture runs. My mate Grinchy Vott, he's stuck in the past. He refuses to have playing substitutes, desperate instead to get the money on the pitch. Every year it costs him. There's a reason I've won our mini league twice and he never has and never will, and it's because he refuses to accept the rotation reality. Don't be a Grinchy Vott. Sort yourself out with a full squad and watch yourself soar up those rankings. And so we come to the fifth and final golden rule, the one paramount to having a great season in FPL. And the fifth golden rule is this: accept the best finish you can achieve this season is second place. Don't turn your back on me. Let's get one thing straight. This is Nightmare's tour. I've worked hard my whole life, paid my dues, and now it's Nightmare's turn. And Nightmare's not about to let his reign at the top be spoiled by some freak AI model. Ever since I was a young boy, knee-high to a Mars bar in the 1980s, I've dreamt of one thing and one thing only, and that's winning Fantasy Premier League and becoming the undisputed world champion. And now I'm calling my shot, and I'm telling you that this year is the year I ascend to the throne. You can have the best trip strategy in the game, but I'm Harry Ramsden. You can have the best captain every week, but I'm Jack Sparrow. You can have the season of your life, but when the summer ends and the team sheets fall, I'm springing into action. And winter is coming for the rest of the contenders. You can look elsewhere and listen to people say, I'm going to do my best and see what happens. But not here, not on this channel. I'm telling you I'm going to be the best. And come May 24th, I'm taking on that coveted stress ball. And there's not a goddamn thing anyone can do to stop me. So reframe your thinking about what success means this season. Decide for yourself what a great season looks like. Pick somebody else to beat and take them down. Improve on your best ever overall ranking. Make it into the top 100k. Reach the 99th percentile of players and be one of the top 1% to play the game. Maybe even strive for that top 10k finish for the first time. There's all sorts of ways to define success in this game, and the beauty is you get to do that for yourself, and nobody can tell you that you're wrong, unless of course your aim is to be the 2026 world champion, because nobody is stopping the Nightmare Dreamer from reaching the pinnacle. And remember, if all else fails, you can just copy Praz.